All right, ladies and gents, this is going to be the final part of what has ended up as being a three-part series. Reposition that just a bit on things you may or may not know about the Selector Tool. So, I've given my my rectangle here a different fill, a linear fill, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to talk about first setting the origin of an object and flipping an object. So, with an object selected, you can change the origin of an object by either selecting one of the 9 standard origin points that are shown here on this button, right? Upper left hand corner, upper right hand corner, upper centered, top centered, middle. You get the idea, yeah. Or you can activate the rotation handles, and here's the origin point right here in the middle, and you can just grab it and move it anywhere you want to, yeah. And you can grab it and move it as many times as you wish. This is important because this is the point around which, if you rotate an object, the object rotates. Yeah. So I have it here, and that's where the object rotates around. All right. It's also important for flipping. Yeah. So if I want to flip this horizontally, it's going to flip on this axis of the origin point. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. If I put it back in the center, because I have the fill now, you'll see that the darker side will flip to this side when I do it this way. Yeah. And the same thing for vertically, right? So if I move it down here and flip it down and up. Yeah. That's what that's all about. So that's the origin point and the and flipping. Next thing I'm going to talk about is naming an object. Naming object is done by clicking on this this icon right here. By selecting an object and pressing the name tag icon, you can bring up a menu where you can add a name to an item. Right, so I'm going to click that and drag that into here, and you can just type in any name you want to. So box, if I want to name it, and click add, and now the name applied to this is box. Okay, now it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but once you get into some other types of things, you may want to know how to do exactly that, adding a name to an item. For example, naming an item can be important for several reasons. For example, web pages for doing special effects, adding different types of special effects for web pages. For flash animations, you have to name the item first to let it know that you're moving it. Making stretchy buttons and text panels, and there's a million reasons why you might want to name an item, but that's how you name it. The next is changing how a selected object is displayed. Okay, you can change how the selected object is displayed by using the following buttons. Okay, the first is the show bounds handles, right? So that's for these bounds handles right here. That's turning them on and off. Yeah, and I already showed you about the object edit handles that show up on the other corners, right? Toggling those on and off. Show or edit fill. This is something I thought was really neat. If you keep this toggled on, anything you select shows the fill all the time, right? So here's my linear fill for this object. If I click on that one, there's my linear fill for that one, and there's my linear fill for that one, which is kind of neat. And then the other is the toggle on and off rotation handles, which again I've talked about before. The last thing that I need to talk about on this is this button right here, and it's a scale line widths. So if I increase the size of this, right now I have a 1 pixel line on this box, yeah, 1 pixel black line. If I increase the size of this, I'm going to lock my aspect ratio and change the width to 200. Boom, right, and I get a much bigger box. Notice that the line is still 1 pixel in width. I'm going to undo that change, yeah? And I'm going to toggle this line on to scale line width. So I'm doubling this in size, 200. Look at the size of my line now. It's 2 pixels. All right, so the size of the line with this button pressed scales with the size of the item. Okay, that's basically what scale line width is. You can decide on a use by use cases whether you want to have that enabled or not. That was it. That's all I have on using the selector tool. I'm sure there's millions of things that I've left out, but those are the basic tools or the basic functions of the selector tool. There may be more ways to rotate an item. There may be more ways to select an item, to stretch it and do a million other things, but those are the basic methods. I hope you found that informative and helpful, and we'll see you back next time.